Yeah, Abhigyan. Now, not yet the size has been increased. One of the student has mentioned a query in the chat box that he is facing the problem in the version 3.9. There is the little change in the syntax. I think still not significant change is there. Whosoever is mentioned, you
Ma'am, is it
just
visible
read
now?
out. You Yeah, it's visible. You read out its corresponding manual. It will be available with the version 3.9, and start reading that manual and accordingly start executing. Not significant changes are there. Skand want to show the program. Yash has made the PPT to showcase it. ठीक है, whosoever will be able to show in the today's class, and the remaining students, I will give you the chance to the other students to give their presentation in the subsequent classes. No problem. ठीक है, now Abhigyan is going to show a demo of how the subtraction of two numbers, simulation of two numbers will work. Yes, Abhigyan, you can start.
Uh, so here I have created a text file which takes two input number from the user and then apply a subtract instruction and then outputs the result. So for this I have created a fetch sequence which goes like the program counter will go to the AR and the address stored in the memory will reach to IR, and then there will be an increment in the program counter and then IR will be decoded. इसके बाद I have defined some machine instructions like divide, product, subtract, add, and the input statements read 1 and read 2, as well as write and stop. So read 1 will take the first input from the user, which I have defined in this execute sequence. Input integer 1 to the address register, to the accumulator, and the second input will take the input and will send it to the data register. Then I have applied a subtract statement which will subtract the data of the accumulator register and the data register and will store it into the accumulator register, and then it will end the sequence. And then the write action will be performed, by which the data in the resultant data in the accumulator will be shown as output. So here I think first I'll have to reset everything, and then I'll assemble and load it. Ma'am, do I have to use the debug mode? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, and make use of debug mode and explain all the steps of the program internally, how it is working at the register level and memory level, how the data is being transferred.
Ma'am, I
But
have
first
a
of
doubt.
all, yeah, Vidhi, let me
Ma'am,
know your doubt.
why did we store different numbers in different registers, one in AC and one in DR?
Beta, I discussed the common bus diagram. You attended that class. Here, whatever we are doing in the context of how physically the different connections are there. Connections, how physically different registers and main memory are mutually connected with each other. You would have seen in the common bus diagram that the data input comes either from whatever the arithmetical or logical operation is performed on either of the operand, and that is performed by the arithmetical logical circuit. And if you view the view in terms of the connections of connections, we can visualize that only DR register and AC register are directly connected with the arithmetical logical.
Yes,
Means
ma'am. But
physics.
we could have stored both the numbers in DR only.
DR only means if they are the two operands, how will you be able to store? But and the AC is a such kind of a register which consists of input as well as the output data. Even if you store the input data in the DR, still it will be mandatory to store the output data in the AC. Because again, you can visualize the connections in context of common bus diagram. Data always is redirected to the AC. The output data is redirected to the AC. Though you can make use of different registers in CPU simulator, but we just make a habit to execute the program in a way as actually the connections are given in the common bus diagram. I'm not talking in terms of CPU simulator. You can make use of as many as registers as you want, and the program perfectly will work. Even if you store the data in DR or in R1 register or R2 register, still the program will work. But as we are studying theoretically the architecture of the basic computer in the Mano, so better make a habit of executing the program and creating the registers in the same manner as actually is done in physical computer. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Please, Abhigyan. Yes, go ahead.
So here I have opened the debug mode. Now I'll go by step by micro instructions. So when I first click it, the PC will point to the address register, and then second step will be that the address register, the memory of address register will go to the instruction register, and then there will be an increment in PC as we can see here. And then the first statement, which is read one, will be executed. So here I am inputting any data number like 75, and then the 75 number will be stored in the accumulator register. Then we'll again go to step by micro, and it will start another fetch sequence. Then PC will again go to will point to AR, and the address stored in the memory will go to the instruction register. And then there's some type of data stored in the instruction register, as we can see here. Then there will be an increment in the program counter. Then the IR will be again decoded. Then it will start the execution of the second instruction that I have wrote in the assembly, which is read 2. Then it will read the second number. Let me input here 12. And then the 12 will be stored in the data register. Now again, by clicking in on the step by micro, it will again start the fetch sequence. And then the third statement, which is subtract, will be executed, and the implementation, which was AC minus DR, will occur, which will subtract 75 and 12, and then store the output value into the AC again. So now it's stored 63. Then we'll again click on step by micro. Then again the fetch sequence for the stop instruction will occur. And then it will show AC, the value stored in the AC as the output. Here we can see output equals to 63, which is the subtraction of 75 and 12. That is it. Do I have to show another program?
Which one? You are talking about multiplication?
Ma'am, I have done all the 4 operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.
Show me the division.
Okay, ma'am.
Acha, Abhigyan, there is one query that regarding the subtraction of two numbers. Yes,
Yes,
the same query that Ananta has asked. The same query I was about to ask. If the first number is smaller, another number is bigger, so will it give a negative answer, or which kind of answer it will provide? Change the value. I mean, smaller to
Okay,
higher
ma'am.
value,
I'll
and show the
change the
execution.
values. Okay. Let me start the debug mode again. And So ma'am, do I have to store the lesser value in the first instruction?
You do it, na, and then try it with it, and then let us know ki what answer you are getting.
Okay ma'am. Input 75. Yes ma'am, it's giving a negative integer.
Getting which number?
It is giving a negative integer, minus 63.
It's okay then. It should be the desired result.
Yes ma'am.
It's okay then. Minus 63, and the first number was? It's not visible.
And the first number was 12 and the second number was 75. So when we subtracted,
It's okay. It's okay then. It's okay. It's working perfectly.
yes
Now
ma'am.
we switch to divide operation.
Okay. So ma'am, almost every step in the divide is same, just that I have added another instruction known as like divide.
Acha, after division of two numbers, what actually
Yes
it is
ma'am.
giving you? It is giving you quotient or remainder? Which
And
value it is
question.
giving, or in quotient? Just show
Yes
it,
ma'am.
execute it, and show it.
Okay ma'am. So first fetch sequence will give us the read one instruction. Here I can input 12. And 3. Yes, ma'am. It has given the quotient as the answer.
4. Okay. Which was the first number?
The first number was 12 and it was divided by 3.
Acha, when it was fully divided.
Yes,
Give a
ma'am.
first number as 13 and second number as 3. Then check the answer.
Okay, ma'am. Thirteen.
Yeah, one question.
Ma'am.
One student has asked the question in the query whether without giving the initialization statement whether the program can be executed. Yeah, so far as there is a need of some kind of a statement, then only you need to include that statement. If there is no need, then there is no need. It is not essential to. But it will, just to be on safer side, what actually it will do, initialization statement in the memory, what it will do, it will basically initialize all the values in 0. If there is some earlier garbage value is being stored, so in order to avoid that garbage value, this initialization statement basically will be initializing the content. So in this context, it is better to make use of initialization statement.
Ma'am, if I do not use this initializing statement, then it is showing one error.
No, am I done
It's
without
not like that.
initialization?
No, it will work.
Yes, ma'am.
It will work. But what I told you that what will be the impact of that? Only impact will be that it will initialize the certain memory location with the zeros only. That will only be the impact. As it
And
will work
actually,
perfectly.
this is
That
showing.
you will have to locate कि एरर आपकी कहाँ आ रही है, वो थोड़ा घर में बैठ के देखना, इसे केयरफुली
Yes, ma'am.
चलाना कि आपने इससे रिलेटेड कहाँ पे जाके आपने कहीं जाके कुछ उसमें स्पेसिफिकेशन दी होगी, then you need to rectify that, and due to that the
Okay,
error
ma'am.
would be coming. ठीक है, now just continue with that only. डिवीजन आप शो कर रहे थे, दिखाओ डिवीजन.
So if I input an integer 13 here and which is divided by 3, then it still shows the output as 4 because like 13 is not completely divisible by 3.
what output it is showing?
4.
क्या ये आपका नीचे क्या आ रहा है? अच्छा, एक मिनट, 4 ही आ रहा है?
Yes,
एक्चुअली बहुत
ma'am.
छोटा सा है, विजिबल नहीं है, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम आस्किंग. ठीक है, इट इज शोइंग यू द क्वेश्चन.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. Now, very good, Abhigyan. I am giving you 1 star. Multiply also you would like to show?
Yes, ma'am. I can show
I
the
can
product.
show.
Who would like to show multiplication? Raise your hand. What's your name? Manish. हाँ, Manish will be
Ma'am, Yash.
showing. Yes, Yash. चलो Yash, you show it. Manish, I will give you the chance as well. Yash, आप show करो. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Share your screen.
Okay, ma'am.
And Abhigyan, I am giving you 1 star. And definitely in the end of the semester, all these stars will be credited in terms of your internal assessment marks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Abhigyan, your roll number is 4103.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhigyan Mishra, right?
Yes,
So I have
ma'am.
given you 1 star. I have noted it down. Yes, next please. Girish also has raised the
My
hand.
screen is
Yeah,
visible?
Girish. Yash, please. Not yet visible. I think it will be visible. You open your slides. Or
Visible now?
yeah, it is visible. And you have to show the execution of the program as well, in addition to showing it through
Okay, ma'am.
presentation. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. So this one is the multiply program. So first of all, for the CPU simulator, we need 2 files. First one would be the instruction file and the second one would be the machine file. So we begin with creating both the files. Now from file we add a new text and this window will appear. From there we can write our instructions and we have to save this text in .a format that signifies that it is an assembly language file. Now this is the machine file .cu and it will contain our RAM and other memory instructions. Now first of all, hardware for the operation. So under the hardware module, we will add registers. So if we go to the simulator, I have created the machine. So under the machine, we have to add hardware modules. So we will add the following registers: the accumulator, address register, instruction register, program counter, status, and I have a temporary register, but we can also use the data register since we only have to store one value. Now, after defining the registers, we will define the RAM. So after all the registers and we also have to give the width, then we will create a RAM. So this RAM will be used as our main memory where our program will be stored and all the data and instructions will be stored here before and after processing. So this RAM will be used and the program counter and address part of the RAM, that is the length of the address part, it can be calculated as 2 to the power number of bits in program or address registers, and the cell size, that is the actual data part, it is by default 16. So here we use 16 since it is a small program. So after creating the memory, our RAM will look like this, and since we have assigned 16 bits, we can see that here in the data part we will be having a 16-bit binary number and in the address part we will be having 12-bit binary number. After the RAM, we will create a halt bit.
Very good.
This
Very
will be
good.
used for termination of our program. Now the halt bit will be used for termination. It can be terminated either at the end of all instructions, or if there is some condition like we have a smaller memory but we are inputting large number. So in that case also the halt bit will be used to terminate the program. Now after creating the hardware modules, our code will start looking like this. Now in the registers part, we will be able to see that the following registers have been created with the width as well, and we can see that the width is same as the number of binary values in the data part. And same for the main memory. The main memory will create 4096 different addresses and corresponding data values. Now after we have created the hardware modules, we will create some micro instructions. So all user defined instructions like read, write, etc. They work as a collection of smaller instructions. For every instruction, there are some repeated instructions which will be using, like fetching program counter value and giving to address, then giving it to from address, giving it to the instruction register. So for this, the micro instructions will be used. So under the modify section, we will go to the micro instructions, and there are various categories of micro instructions like transfer from register to register. Then there is arithmetic calculation. There are logical calculations, input output. So under each section, we have to create specific micro instructions. So we will proceed one by one from register to register. Here, since I have only used two register transfer operations, so I have added two micro instructions. For larger programs, we will have more number of register instructions. So here I have used accumulator to temporary register. So the what I am doing for multiply is I will transfer the first value inputted by the user into the temporary register. So from accumulator, it will go to the temporary register. And another thing that is used here is program counter to address register to check the memory for each line, and then we will use the instructions on each line. So for that, we use the program counter to AR micro instruction. After that, there are memory access instructions. Now, since in this program, we are only reading the memory, so only one micro instruction is read it, and the direction is read, and we are using it from the main memory. So we are taking the address that we took from the program counter, and at the address, we take the instruction from the data part of that address, and we transfer the instruction to the instruction register. So for memory access, we define this command. Now after the
Yes, very good.
there are
Carry
three
on, carry on.
lines since the program will start from this value, the one value, and then it will go to this value, then this value. For that, we increment the program counter every time the code is executed. So an increment micro instruction is used. So we define its name, set the register as PC, and delta as 1. That means it will increase by 1. Now another is decode instruction. So since the instruction here is stored in user friendly language, so first of all, before execution, it needs to be converted into binary language. So for that, decode instruction register command is used, and it will decode the contents of the instruction register into 16-bit binary, and then the machine will be able to read that. So decode micro instruction will be created for this purpose. Next are input output instructions. So we are using the accumulator register to take input from the console and also to give output at the end. So two input output commands will be given. First for input. Now here it can be given as ASCII values, Unicode characters, or integers. But since it is a multiply program, so we take them as both integers. So input will be taken as an integer. Buffer, that is, it will be taken from accumulator register, and the direction will be input. Similarly for output, output will be given through the buffer, that is AC register, and it will be in the opposite direction. So input output commands, that is IO commands, are defined like this. Now here also we need to set condition bit. So the halt bit that we created, we will use it now to stop the execution of code whenever required. So we set up the halt bit command and we set its value to 1 and link it to the halt bit. So this will be used as whenever we change the value of halt bit to 1, our program will automatically stop executing. Now it is arithmetic instruction. Here it is the multiply program. So arithmetic instruction would be multiply. We can head over. Now the CPU simulator gives us inbuilt arithmetic instructions like multiply, addition, subtraction, and division. So the same program, if we just change the type of instruction here from add, subtract, multiply, divide, it will be converted to the program, and we have to make small changes like we can change this from multiply to add, so for ease of reading. So under the arithmetic, we will take source 1 as the temporary register. Second source, I have taken the accumulator register. That is the first value that I stored into temporary register. I take the second input from user, which is currently in the accumulator register. After the multiplication, the contents will again go to the accumulator register, which I will later use on the output. And overflow bit, I have set it to halt bit. So for example, we have a very large number, say in 2 to the power 7. Such halt bit will be used. Halt bit will be used, so halt bit will be 1 and the program will stop its execution. So this was about arithmetic instruction. After the arithmetic instruction, now we are done with the setting up of micro instruction. So we head over to fetch sequence and we modify our fetch sequence. Now fetch sequence will be used to read instructions from the memory. So the code that we have written in this part, what fetch sequence is doing, it will take these commands one by one and the machine will operate them one by one. So we go to modify fetch sequence, and the fetch sequence can be created by setting up micro instructions. So the micro instructions that we created earlier will now be shown in this menu, and we can drag and drop them in our desired or required method, required way, so that we will use to create fetch sequence. Now first of all, we need to transfer the content of program counter to AR. So if the program counter will first of all give 0 value to AR, then 1, then 2, so on. So first of all, the program counter will transfer the value to AR. So I can drop this micro instruction here. Now then we will use this AR value, address register value, to fetch the data from main memory and transfer it to the instruction register. So like if we load this over here, if we assemble and load, so we can say we can see that the data values over here have been. So the program counter will one by one pass these values to the instruction to the address, and from the memory address we will fetch this value, and this value will be passed to the instruction register. After passing this value to the instruction register, then we increment the program counter by 1, so that the next time the fetch sequence clock cycle occurs, the incrementation will cause the program counter to pass the next statement, and then the next statement will be executed. After incrementing the program counter, we decode the passed value. So since we earlier created a decode statement, so the instruction will now be decoded into binary format. So this was our fetch sequence. After the fetch sequence, we write our machine instruction. Now these are the instructions that we give. So I have used read to read the first integer, store to store it into temporary register, read again. So this will read the second integer. Then I have done the multiplication as well, and then printing the output as well. And then I have used the stop. Now here we can see that still our commands are not being read by the machine. So the color of the program, the statement is still black. Now, but here, since I have completed the program, we can see that later on the color will change to green. So this can be used to verify whether our code has been read by the machine or not. After that, we define the last set of instruction, that is the machine instructions. Under the machine instructions, firstly, we will get this kind of dialog box. This is currently empty. So in this section, the left side section, we will create our machine instructions. In the right side section, we need fields. So the fields are just the under the instruction format, the different division of bits is the fields. So first of all, we define some fields that we will use. So here I have defined three fields: the OP code, address, and unused. Now OP code. Since we have small number of operations, so we will be using a 4-bit OP code. That is, we can have up to 2 to the power 4 different instructions. 2 to the power 4 is 16. So our program can have 16 different operations. For that, we use the OP code. So we set it to type required, number of bits to 4, and default value 0. Nothing needs to be changed more. After that, we define the address. So since our program counter and address part both are 12 bit, so here also we set the number of bits to 12, and address is also a required field. Now this is used generally for read and write commands. Now the third is unused. We can set it to ignored. For most of the instructions, what happens is only the operation code is required, since we are dealing directly with the register. So no memory reference is required. So we except for the 4 bits of the OP code, we set the rest of them as unused. So if we head over to like the stop statement here, so we don't require the memory address for a stop statement. We just need the operation code. So here the operation code of stop statement is this. So the remaining 12 bits can be assigned as unused, means this will not affect the implementation of our code. And we can see in the edit field section, this is set to ignored. So this was our fields. Now after writing the fields in this box, we will be able to see them in the machine instructions box over here. Now we define our final machine instructions. So first is the read statement. So in a similar way to the fetch sequence setup, we will drag and drop the OP code from here and unused part from here. So for this will be almost similar, but the implementation of each instruction will be different. Now the implementation part of the read, we will take the input via accumulator and then end. So this will be just our read statement. We need to read the data from the user input and then store it into accumulator. After that, we create a store format. Now, since we have two numbers, we cannot store both at a time into the accumulator. So first one we will transfer to the temporary register, or we can use the data register for the same thing, and then we can calculate later on. So we define store again, OP code and unused will be used here in the format. And in the implementation part, we will just store the content of the accumulator into the temporary register, then end the store statement. Now ending every statement is necessary, or our program will start going into infinite loop. Another statement is write statement. We will take the OP code and unused bit, and in the write statement, what I have done is we can do separately, but since it is small program, so I have taken the content of the temporary register, multiplied with the new content in the accumulator register, and then transferred it back to the accumulator register. Then my write part begins. So after the value is stored in the accumulator register, I will simply output it via the accumulator. So we won't have to create separate multiply and write commands. It will be all done at the end. Now after it, we have the stop, same OP code and unused. And in the implementation part, I have used halt bit that I earlier created, and then end. So halt bit will be changed to 1, and then the program execution will stop. Now, after this much of process, we will see that the color has changed to green. So now we can go to our machine and we can load and run our code. So for loading and running, first of all, we will reset everything. Then we will clear, assemble, load and run. So after running, our machine will produce the input and output like this. If we input two numbers on the separate line, so it will output the product of the two numbers. And also if we input in the same line as space separated values, still it will work fine and it will output the product of the two numbers. Now some points that we need to remember, that CPU is case sensitive. So the commands in the assembly instruction and those we have written in machine instruction should be in the same case or the program will not work. Always at end micro instruction at the end of each instruction set, and always reset everything before running the program. If we do not reset that, it can cause errors. If we have stored some data or we have used default values other than 1, then this can other than 0, sorry. So this prevents some misfunctioning. So we should reset everything before rerunning the program. And from execute options, indexing, this is important as we need to check whether our indexing is from right or from left. So if our indexing is from right, we need to specify the separation of instruction register 4 to 15 for address part. And similarly, if it is from left, then we will it in a different way. We check the indexing as well. So if we follow up these points, then our program will work successfully. Now here I can try and assemble it once. So the input, the first of one, which must be an integer. So I 25. The second input I give it 3. So we can see the output is 75, which is working fine.
Excellent explanation. Very good, Yash. I'm giving you 1 star. Really very excellent explanation. And all of you are supposed to make a PPT in a similar manner as Yash has made. And in the end of the semester, all of you have to submit me all the PPTs that you have made. And one by one, each of you will have to give the demonstration like Yash has given. And other students have also done in a good manner, and whosoever have shown and given the demo, no doubt. And whosoever have completed their program of subtraction, addition, and multiplication, and they are supposed to move to the next programs mentioned in your program list. Like all the now start executing the programs based on logical operations like add or not, XOR, whatever kind of the logical operations are given. You start executing all those kind of the logical operations, and that so for each and every student at least